So Mark was at Goose Bay, Labrador, and I got orders that I could go, and the kids got their shots. We had Debbie, Andy, and Lisa at the time, and took the train to McGuire Air Force Base. That's where we were going. And the kids hadn't been on a train, thought this would be fun. Well, Andy was running around wild on the train and fell, and her eyes started to roll in the back of her head, and I thought, oh my God, what are we going to do now? But anyway, she recovered, and that was okay. So anyway, we got to the base and got to the quarters where we go, or the base ops terminal, I guess. And I'm standing there and give the guy my paperwork, and the kids were great. I mean, they're great travelers. And he looked at me and he said, "I'm sorry, Mrs. Barthelo, your flight does not leave till tomorrow." And I didn't cry out loud, but I just had these little tears coming down, and he said, "Oh, I'm so sorry, but I can't do anything about it." So anyway, we stayed on the base overnight and got ourselves back the next day. And I remember sitting in the terminal waiting for our flight for the Goose, as we called it. And the kids were standing there. It was September, carrying a heavier coat, dressed in summer clothes. And some young guy sitting near me, I could hear the conversation. It was, "Gosh, it looks like the weather's closing in. We might not get out today." And I thought, oh my God, I gotta get out today. I gotta get out. But no cell phones in those days. So in the meantime, Mark thought I was getting in the night before, and there was a big group to meet me at the plane, and everybody was, going to be happy, or they were happy until the plane came in, something came in, or I wasn't on it. So anyway, we finally got off and got there, and there was no one to meet us.
Party was over.
I think finally Mark showed up, but anyway, that was a big adventure. But the kids were good. But I think I did a lot. Right now, I feel like I'm just this lazy old person. I don't do anything. But I did a lot in my younger days.
Well, let's talk about Goose Bay a little bit. I know Andrea always talks about in the winter how they would you would bundle the kids up.
Right. Yes. And they would go out in the snow, and we have pictures of them doing snow angels. So nice. And and we had a dog at the time that had been a dog that was Mark's cousin's. He had at college, and he couldn't keep it there anymore, so I took it, and somehow it got on a plane and got to the Goose.
Well, we arranged for one of the crews that went to Westover to snake the dog on the airplane and bring it to Goose Bay.
So
Big
anyway,
mistake that was.
It was. But
that wasn't the St. Bernard.
we did not.
No,
It was a boxer, and we did not have freezers or anything. So outside our houses, which they weren't houses, they were like apartments, and we would make like a little igloo and store our frozen food in there. Well, one day I'm at the kitchen sink, and all of a sudden my dog goes by, and it wasn't my igloo, but he'd been into somebody else's igloo, and he had like a box of steakums in his mouth. I thought, oh my God, this is not going to work to have a dog at the Goose. And so he went back on a plane somewhere. We gave him to somebody. I don't know what happened. It was just too much to do. But the thing about, you get these kids dressed to go out in the snow, and it was a lot of work, especially the old big snow pants and all that. But then you get them on, get their boots on, and all of a sudden somebody had to go to the bathroom, so you have to do that. But anyway.
Well, Andrea's theory was always that you, what did you do? Cut blocks in the snow so they could come up to the window so they could get hot chocolate?
Climb up to the window, yeah. And we have pictures of you guys in the windows. Yeah. Uh-huh.
It was high off the ground. It was not like these windows.
Right.
It was the second story, wasn't it?
Yeah, and we were on a corner, so we had more windows. Yeah.
Right. Well, we talked a little bit about partying and down in Florida, but was there partying in Goose Bay, or was it too cold?
A lot of partying because it was cold.
And if your car wouldn't, we used to plug our car in at night.
Well, I bought there was some entrepreneur who had a, if you can believe this, a dealership. I mean, the nearest village was Happy Valley, so this was actually a Canadian base. You have to understand that first.
Yeah.
And the U.S. Air Force was a tenant there. So this fellow was selling Vauxhalls, which was a small four-door English car, regular transmission. So I bought that, and I had it about a week, and it was a sudden thaw. And we used to keep it plugged into the house where it kept the oil
would
heated and circulated in the engine. There was a sudden thaw, and the ice came off the roof of the house
Right.
into the top of the car. So suddenly the top of this car that I had for about a week was
Had a
somewhat
dent
caved
in
in.
the top. Yeah.
And then about a week after that, one of my buddies from before she came up there in the squadron asked if he could borrow it to go to Happy Valley. To do what, I don't know. I said, sure. While in Happy Valley, somebody ran into the side of the car. So I had a car that was 2 to 3 weeks old and needed a major repairs. And of all places, Goose Bay, Labrador.
Would you figure?
Eskimos up there don't
It was
care
fine.
for it.
No, but we drove it that way. It was fine. Yeah.